Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It is now week 16 in the NFL, so we're back with my weekly NFL predictions. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you do like, subscribe, and share the video with your friends. With that being said, let's get to my week 16 picks. So, as always, we start with the previous week recap, and I don't know about y'all, but I'm seeing a lot of green. So, the Rams beat the Niners, Chiefs beat the Browns, Bengals beat the Titans, Commanders beat the Saints, Ravens beat the Giants, Cowboys beat the Panthers, Jets beat the Jaguars, Texans beat the Dolphins, Broncos beat the Colts, Bills beat the Lions. The Steelers couldn't do it against the Eagles, so Eagles victorious there. Cardinals beat the Patriots, Buccaneers beat the Chargers, the Packers destroyed my Seahawks. The Vikings beat the Bears, and the Falcons beat the Raiders. So 15-1 on the week. After week 15, we are 149-65. So not too shabby at all. Moving over to the playoff picture for the AFC as of week 15, the Kansas City Chiefs have clinched their division. Buffalo Bills have clinched their division. 3-seed Steelers have clinched the playoffs. And the Houston Texans at the 4-seed have clinched their division. So pretty much the division is set except for the Steelers. They are battling with the Ravens, which they play this week. So we will have a clearer idea for the picture of that one. The Baltimore Ravens are the 5-seed. Denver Broncos are the 6-seed currently. They swap spots with the Chargers. Chargers are kind of in free fall right now. If they lose out, they give an opportunity for one of these three teams in the hunt: the Indianapolis Colts, Miami Dolphins, and Cincinnati Bengals. So I'm kind of hoping the Chargers crash out and we get the Bengals in the playoffs, because that'd be amazing. The eliminated teams are the New York Jets, Cleveland Browns, Jacksonville Jaguars, Tennessee Titans, New England Patriots, and Las Vegas Raiders. Moving over to the NFC. So the Detroit Lions have clinched the playoffs, still haven't clinched their division. Basically, if Minnesota wins out, they will win the division. The Philadelphia Eagles, sorry, it's hard to remember all these teams. I'm just on the fly. But the Philadelphia Eagles have clinched the playoffs. They are sitting at the 2-seed. They cannot drop below the 2-seed, so really good for them. The LA Rams have moved into that 3-seed spot because they are currently leading the NFC West. My Seahawks, like I said, they just shit the bed against the Packers this week. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers still at the 4-seed. They kind of control their own destiny if they just keep winning, and Atlanta keeps kind of just flailing about. The Minnesota Vikings have clinched a playoff spot. Green Bay can clinch a playoff spot this week. And Washington, I believe, can also clinch a playoff spot this week. So, pretty good. Actually, scratch that. Washington cannot clinch a playoff spot this week because the Commanders and the Seahawks, they're neck and neck for that spot. And the team still in the hunt: Seattle Seahawks, Atlanta Falcons, Arizona Cardinals, San Francisco 49ers, Dallas Cowboys, and the New Orleans Saints. So, still pretty competitive. Eliminated teams: Chicago Bears, Carolina Panthers, and New York Giants. Moving over to my weekly top 5 ranking. Number 5, we do have a tie, and I hate doing this, but we have to. So I got the Minnesota Vikings, and I have the Detroit Lions. I can't continue to put disrespect on the Vikings name. The Vikings have to be mentioned in the top 5 for sure. Detroit, they're just so injury riddled. I just don't know what to do with them. And I feel really bad for them because I really think this could have been their year. So we'll see. Number 4, I do have the Packers. I think the Packers are great. I think they're a tremendous team, especially, defensively. Their D-line is really, really good. Their O-line is tremendous. So I think this team is definitely dangerous and can make some noise in the playoffs this year. Number 3, I do have the Buffalo Bills. I think the Buffalo Bills offense is tremendous. If their defense can just put it together, I really like what I see from this team every single week. So I hope they can continue it on offense, because I do not want to see the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl again. Number 2, we do have the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Eagles are currently, as constructed, the best team in the NFC. They just find ways to win. They will attack you in any way that they need to win, and it's tremendous. Number 1, I have the Chiefs. My only thing with the Chiefs is that Mahomes injury. I'm just very skeptical on it, because we've seen this before where they say Patrick Mahomes is injured, which I'm not saying he's not injured, but I think it's kind of dialed higher than what it actually is. So take that with what you will, but Kansas City, number 1 right now. And moving over to Thursday Night Football, great game. We got the Denver Broncos at the LA Chargers. So for the Broncos, Bo Nix just has to stop with these interceptions. He's kind of, getting through his rookie weirdness, I guess, and we'll see what he looks like at the end of this. I think their defense is the real deal, though. I really like everything this defense is doing. They definitely generate takeaways. Their defensive line is very stout. I really like what I'm seeing from this Broncos team. I think they have a lot of the right pieces in the right places. Now, if Sean Payton can just get them there every week. I think they definitely need to find the run game because it's kind of just a Bo Nix show at this point, and they live and breathe and live and die by Bo Nix. So we'll see if they can figure out a run game. As for the Chargers, they also have just no run game, and if they have no run game, it equals no wins for this team. So they need to figure it out. I know J.K. Dobbins is done for the year, so I believe they have Gus Edwards. They got to figure it out. And if they want to make playoffs this year, which I'm kind of hoping they fall apart, but we'll see. They got to find a run game if they want to win. I think the defense could only stop teams for so long. The defense is good, especially the D-line. I think D-line is good as well, but they can only hold for so long. And as soon as the dam of the defense breaks, this team crumbles, and it just sucks because I think this team has a lot of promise, but I just don't think they can do anything when they make the playoffs. So I kind of don't want them to make the playoffs because if the Cincinnati Bengals make the playoffs, I think the Bengals can make a lot of noise. So we'll see. I just think this team has a lot of changes that they need to address in this offseason. They need to get one or two more wide receivers because honestly, it's just the Lad McConkey show. So they got to figure it out. Lots to figure out. I do have the Broncos winning this one. I got the Broncos 27, Chargers 24. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm wrong about this one, but I'm definitely leaning the Broncos right now. And we have two Saturday games this week. So our early window Saturday game is the Houston Texans at the Kansas City Chiefs. So for the Texans, they're getting absolutely nothing out of the run game. Ever since Joe Mixon's come back, he's had, I think, one or two really good games. Other than that, it's been underwhelming for sure. So they need to figure it out, especially if they want to be able to make noise in the playoffs, because CJ, he is having a really, really hard sophomore slump. He just can't seem to figure it out. But also, I think he's seeing ghosts because his offensive line is awful. They are awful. So we need to figure something out for CJ. I think this team still has potential, but they need to get it together for sure. I think their defense looks better than last week. I really like their defensive line, so I'm hoping we can see a little bit of, pressure on Mahomes this week, if Mahomes plays. So for the Chiefs, I think for the rest of the season, these last 3 games, you put Mahomes on a snap count. Between 20, maybe 25 snaps a game. Other than that, I'm not putting in Mahomes anymore because this offensive line continues to have issues. This offensive line continues to just not protect him. And you need him for the playoffs. So you need him to stay warm. So I'd say play him 20 snaps or maybe the first 2 series of every single game and just bench him after that because you need him for the playoffs. And like I said, I'm not sure how real that ankle injury actually is, but we'll see. And I think this team just continues to find ways to win any way that they need to win. If they need to run the ball a lot, they will. If Mahomes needs to make those plays, he will. If they need the defense to step up, they will. So they just find ways to win, and that's what championship caliber teams do. So I still have the Chiefs winning this game with or without Mahomes. I just think that the Texans are kind of flailing about right now, and they just don't seem well constructed at the moment. So I got the Chiefs 20, Texans 17. Moving over to our late window Saturday game, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens. So for the Steelers, you cannot have Russell Wilson struggle. If he is not able to even complete certain passes, then there's no success for this team. And I think last week kind of showed you Russ is limited. And I know everybody calls him Mr. Unlimited and all that crap, but Russ is limited, and you need to play to his strengths. And that starts with a run game. You have to get the run game going. And I know Najee was just not able to do anything last week. So that is not a recipe for success for this team. You need the run game in order to take the pressure off of Russ so he has a little bit more time to get warm. Because if he's not warm, this team is going to struggle offensively. This team's defense can only hold for so long. I think their defensive line is super good. Their linebackers make me question just a little bit, but I think this team is well put together, and I think they can definitely do some things. But I just need to see a little bit more. As for the Ravens, just do not abandon the run game. For the love of God, do not abandon the run game. And I know Lamar, he made his MVP case last week, threw her 5 touchdowns. That's fantastic. You still need to have the run game. So do not give up on the run games. Henry's got to get his 20-25 carries a game in order to be successful. If you can do that while still keeping your wide receivers and Lamar involved, I think this team is really, really dangerous come playoffs, especially if their defense can be better. I got the Ravens in this one, guys. I know Lamar's record against the Steelers isn't great, but this is a must-have it for the Ravens. And I got the Ravens 27, Steelers 20. Starting our early window games on Sunday, we have the New York Giants at the Atlanta Falcons. So for the Giants, Cancun on 3. 1, 2, 3, Cancun. All right, let's get them over with. All right, moving over to the Falcons. I don't really care what happens offensively. Feed Bijan Robinson, especially, we just got the confirmation. I've been saying it for weeks. Michael Penix is finally starting. Thank God. Thank God for this team that Michael Penix is finally starting. So if you can feed Bijan, because this offensive line is trash, feed Bijan, get the ball out of Penix's hand quickly, I think his team's going to be really feisty. I think they got a really sloppy win last week, and it really showed you how limited Kirk Cousins is. So I definitely agree with the Penix starting, and I'm here for it. I can't wait to see what it looks like. I got the Giants, I don't have the Giants winning this one. I got the Falcons 20, Giants 15. I ain't got the Giants winning a single game the rest of the year. Our next game is the Detroit Lions at the Chicago Bears. So for the Lions, unfortunately, man, the injuries have finally caught up with this team. So many injuries last week in that game. It's so sad to see, because I feel like this team, it was their year. It was their year, and the football gods just keep hurting them. It's so unfortunate. I was really rooting for this Lions team, but yeah, they got the injury bug, and it's bad right now. I think Jared Goff, he has to carry now, and I just don't know if he's able to do it every single game and have those 5 to 6 touchdown games like he has the past couple of weeks. So we'll see. But I am challenging Jahmyr Gibbs. It's time to step the fuck up, man. It's your spot now. You don't have your knuckles anymore. You got to get all the power gems. I'm making a video game reference to Sonic now. You got to get all the power gems, and you got to step up. They need you to carry a lot of the weight of this team. So figure it out. Come on, Jahmyr. Come on, Jared. I believe in you guys. So for the Bears, season's over. It is what it is. The only thing I can really say about this team is you need to get an offensive line for Caleb, man. He looks defeated every single week, and I really just hate it for this kid. So figure it out. I got the Lions in this one. I got the Lions 35, Bears 20. I just don't expect the Bears to be able to score a lot of points, even with the Lions being as injured as they are. My thing with the Lions defense is work on your secondary. If your secondary can get better, this team can be something, I guess. Our next game is the Cleveland Browns at the Cincinnati Bengals. So for the Browns, Deshaun, Jameis, Dorian, it doesn't matter. This team is ass. This team is awful, and it's just so unfortunate to watch, with Deshaun just not being able to play because he's injured, and he doesn't play when he's in the game either. Jameis is just a turnover machine, and Dorian, he's just a young guy, you know. He's not used to being in this situation, in my opinion. I know he started before, but it's just the lineup is just so wishy-washy. So it is what it is. This Browns team is done for the year. As for the Bengals, they need to pray for the Chargers to collapse. So basically, if the Colts and Dolphins lose one more game each and the Chargers collapse and the Bengals win out, they're in the playoffs. So fingers crossed, you know. But Joe Burrow, he's got to take care of better care of the football. And I know he was upset about himself last week as well. So I really like seeing that from Joe. And I really think if this team just had, you know, a defense that was 5% better, this team would be in the playoffs right now. So it just sucks, because I think this Bengals team has so much potential. Unfortunate. I think Chase Brown has stepped up, in a way that I did not expect. So I really like what Chase Brown is doing. Is he sustainable going forward? I hope so, because I really like this Bengals team. I hope they're able to do something. I do have the Bengals winning this one. I got the Bengals 35, Browns 28. I would not be shocked at all if the Browns did not get to 28 points. So, but I got the Bengals for sure. Our next game is the Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts. So for the Titans, you can't spell ass without Tennessee Titans. Yeah, they're trash. They are awful. I don't care if it's Mason Rudolph, Will Levis. I don't care. This team is bad. So as for the Colts, they have no more margin for error, even with the slim chance that they have to make the playoffs. So for the Colts, they just need the Chargers to collapse, and the Colts have to win out in order for them to make the playoffs. So can it happen? I don't know. We'll see. And I think apart from Anthony Richardson's arm, he's bad. He's just playing awful. You guys got to get a quarterback coach in there to coach this dog shit play out of him, because he is awful. He throws the ball just in the weirdest spots. He's throwing a lot of interceptions. Some of them are caught, some of them aren't, but it's bad, man. It's bad. And then Jonathan Taylor, you got to be better than that. You are a veteran in this league now. Hold the ball through the end zone and spike that shit in the end zone. Like, I genuinely don't understand why they just feel the need to just toss the ball. Like, just let go of it. The ball is the most sacred thing on the entire field. Take care of it, get it into the end zone, and then do whatever the hell you want with it. I hated seeing that. I hate seeing that shit every week. I got the Colts in this one. I got the Colts 24, Titans 17. I do not expect the Titans to win this game, but it's a rivalry game, so this one could go either way. Our next game is the LA Rams at the New York Jets. So the Rams leading the NFC West. I think it was a good Kyron Williams game. When he's getting those like 20, 25 carries a game, I expect him to be able to be a little bit successful. And he rushed for over 100 yards last week, so I think if he continues that, cool. I think this team's going to be pretty feisty in come playoffs, especially with no Matt Stafford mistakes. I really like what I'm seeing from this team, unfortunately. I think the defense is playing extremely well, especially last week against the San Francisco 49ers. So they have extended rest, but they are traveling coast to coast, so we'll see about this one. So for the Jets, somebody had to win last week. And it didn't seem like either team wanted to win. The only person that wanted to win was Devontae Adams, because, man, that guy showed up, and he showed up big. So, but in my opinion, you got to blow this team up. I know you have a lot of great pieces, but I think the culture of this team is awful, genuinely awful. And I wish I could have the Jets winning this game, but I got the Rams winning. I got the Rams 40, Jets 24. I expect the Rams to get a lead, hold the lead, and not give it up. Our next game is the Philadelphia Eagles at the Washington Commanders. This is a really good game as well. So for the Eagles, their D-line has to win this game for them this week. I think if they can get pressure onto Jaden Daniels, I think he will not be able to step up like he usually does. Last week was a rare quiet game for Saquon, and I think that was okay. I like what I saw from the passing attack, and I think they needed that for themselves. So when Jalen Hurts is like, "Is that what you guys wanted to see?" No, that's what you guys wanted. We're just sitting here watching you guys be successful, and you guys are the ones freaking shitting on each other on podcasts and not to each other. So yeah, it is what it is. I think Saquon's still going to be great, so keep getting Saquon the ball. I mentioned it before when I was doing my rankings. I still think this team is the best team in the NFC. They are the most complete team. Injuries have not, here I'm knocking on wood, injuries have not hampered this team that much. So I really like what I'm seeing for the Eagles. So for the Commanders, their O-line is awful. Like I said, if the Eagles D-line shows up for this game, I do not expect the Commanders to score very many points. And I think the Eagles are very, very well coached. Say what you will about Nick Sirianni. I think they're very well coached. So I expect this game to be one in the trenches for sure. Their run game is so inconsistent. Brian Robinson is just not consistent enough. And I know it's because this offensive line is bad. So it's hard. It's really hard. And we're going to see if Jaden Daniels can carry them for a win. Do I believe? Not this week. I got the Eagles 27, Commanders 20. I'm leaning Eagles pretty good in this one. Our next game is the Arizona Cardinals at the Carolina Panthers. So for the Cardinals, they're technically still alive, but unfortunately, it's basically hopeless for this team. Where was this version of James Conner the last 3 weeks? Because both the times they played Seattle, he just wasn't doing it. And I think it was I can't remember who they were playing in that third game, but yeah, I just don't understand where this version of James Conner's been. And this team is so hot and cold. I just don't get it. And they just re-signed Budda Baker. Cool for you, Budda. You're going to just waste your career in Arizona, unfortunately. So it is what it is. Like I said, it was a nice win, man, but who cares? This team is just not it. And for the Panthers, apart from Bryce and Chuba Hubbard, I would blow this team the fuck up. This team is awful. I really like Bryce. I think Chuba's, sustainable, I guess. But yeah, I think everything else, just get rid of it. Tear it down by the studs and get rid of it. I got the Cardinals in this one. I got the Cardinals 31, Panthers 21. I want to root for the Panthers, but I just don't think they will do it. I don't think they'll win another game this year. And moving over to our late window games, we have the Minnesota Vikings at my Seattle Seahawks. So for the Vikings, I think their defense is going to thrive this week. Their defensive line is going to be wreaking havoc on the dog shit Seattle Seahawks offensive line. So cool, man. Happy for you guys. Cool. Awesome. I think you definitely need to feed your playmakers this week. Get Justin Jefferson the ball. Get Jordan Addison involved, and especially with Aaron Jones, run the hell out of the ball. As long as you don't get a lot of Sam Darnold mistakes, I expect this team to win this game, and I don't expect this game to be close. So for the Seahawks, you got to start fast. As soon as I saw Green Bay win the coin toss, I said, they know how to beat us. Because as soon as the Seahawks aren't able to start fast, and as soon as they start playing behind the sticks, apart from 1 or 2 times this week, and I think it was against the Patriots and the Jets, this team does not start fast. And if they don't start fast, this team is awful. They're so bad offensively, and it's just not it. So Coach McDonald, he really figured out Josh Jacobs last week in the second half, and I think if he continues to be able to have the defense evolve between the halves, I think his team can be really good defensively. And I really like that the defensive side of the football it's not perfect yet, but it's better than I thought it would be. But our offensive line is ass, man. It is the worst. I can't say it's the worst in the league. It's bottom 5 though. Our offensive line is horrible. They need to figure it out. I think whoever the offensive line coach is, you kind of got to replace him after this year because it's not working and it's bad. So I think this game is, if Geno plays, we have a small chance. If Geno doesn't play, we are so screwed. I got the Vikings in this one. I got the Vikings 28, Seahawks 17. I don't expect the Seahawks to win this game. And honestly, I think our playoff chances are lost unless the Rams somehow collapse and lose one more game besides the Week 18 game. Our next game is the New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills. So yeah, let's have a little bit more, energy after shit talking to my Seahawks. So for the Patriots, Cancun on 3. Yeah, they're done. And I don't want to talk about the Patriots anymore. So for the Bills, James Cook, he looked so good last week. And he's had a lot of games this year where he is playing a lot better. So trying to give him his flowers a little bit. Continue having that success, James Cook, because they need you in the playoffs, especially with Josh Allen. Josh Allen looking like the MVP right now. He is slinging it to everybody. But Buffalo, I want you to capture this method that you guys have to win games. Josh Allen doing all of these cool things. James Cook being able to run the ball. Getting a lot of your skill players healthy again. Get this and do exactly this against the Chiefs. Okay? Because that's the problem. I don't care who else you guys play in the playoffs. I don't think the Bills are going to lose another game to anybody except the Chiefs in the playoffs, because the Chiefs just kind of have their number, and the Bills just do weird shit. They turn into a team that isn't themselves in the playoffs against the Chiefs. Harness this, do this every single week all the way to the Super Bowl, and you guys will win the Super Bowl if you do this. I got the Bills in this one. I don't expect this game to be close. I got the Bills 40, Patriots 20. Yeah, I got the Bills big. Our next game is the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Las Vegas Raiders. So for the Jacksonville Jaguars, holy shit, the Jags are awful, man. They're another one of those teams that are Cancun on 3. Raiders, do not win this game. You're going to set your franchise back if you do not get Shedeur Sanders. Do not win this game. Do not win this game. I am literally begging you. Do not win this game, Las Vegas. I'm trying to will it into existence. I got the Jaguars 24, Raiders 23. This game, I feel bad for anybody in attendance and anybody who has to watch this game, like me. Our next game is the San Francisco 49ers at the Miami Dolphins. So for the 49ers, I think it's time to have some real talks. Is Purdy worth it? Is he worth $50 million every year? Ugh. I don't think so. I really don't. I think he's close to about 25, maybe 30, if that. I just don't think Purdy is the long-term solution for this team. And I think they're going to have a decent draft pick. You could get somebody better, in my opinion. You really could. Just because I don't think Purdy is the catalyst to winning necessarily. He is a function to... or he's a means to an end, kind of. Like, all he's doing is just getting the ball out of his own hand to the playmakers and letting them all make the plays. And, that's what a game manager is, and he's being successful at that. So, but I think if you want somebody who's a difference maker, who can elevate all of your skill players and elevate the offense, I think you can get somebody else. But we'll see. I think there's a lot to improve on this team, especially the O-line, but I just don't think this team is one or two pieces away at the moment. So I'm not sure if it's worth trying to reload at this point. I think it might be time to reset a little bit. So for the Dolphins, it was an awful performance by Tua last week in a must-win game. They're a little bit in a free fall where they have to win out, and they need a lot of shit to happen. I've mentioned it before with the Bengals and the Colts. Basically, they need the Colts to lose one more game, and they have to win out, and the Chargers have to lose all their games in order to make the playoffs. But I just don't see that being successful for them. I do have the Dolphins winning this game. I got the Dolphins 27, 49ers 24. My main concern for this one for the Niners is they're traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast, so those games are always a little weird. Moving over to Sunday Night Football, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Dallas Cowboys. So for the Buccaneers, Baker and the Evans show, man. I love what I'm seeing from Baker, and I'm loving what I'm seeing from Mike Evans. So if I'm the Cowboys, I'm doubling Evans every single play because they're trying to get him over 1,000 yards in case it wasn't very, very obvious. But I'm not sure if it matters because I think Mike Evans is tremendous right now, and I really, really like what I'm seeing from this Buccaneers team. I really hope they make the playoffs. I think their offensive line needs to play well this week. I expect the Cowboys to be rushing 4, if not 5, basically every single play this week. So offensive line is going to have their work cut out for them. And I really like Bucky Irving as my second place for Rookie of the Year. I don't see how you can't give it to Brock Bowers from Las Vegas. So it is what it is. But yeah, I really like Bucky Irving for this team. As for the Cowboys, their defense played really good last week, and I expect their defense to continue playing well, especially this week. But I just don't know what this team wants to be going forward. Are you going to keep McCarthy? Are you going to kind of just reload at this point? I just don't see that being successful for this team, so we'll see. I got the Buccaneers in this one. I got the Buccaneers 27, Cowboys 23. I wouldn't be surprised if this game was a little bit lower scoring than what I have it, but definitely leaning the Buccaneers right now. Moving over to our Monday Night Football game, we have the New Orleans Saints at the Green Bay Packers. So for the Saints, I think Spencer Rattler is okay, but he is wildly inconsistent, and it's just not a recipe for success for this team. I think injuries really, really screwed this team this week, this season. They've lost both of their wide receivers. Their running back is in and out of the lineup. Derek Carr was injured for a few games this year, and he's out for the season now. It's just really unfortunate. I really hate injuries. It's like when you're playing Madden or NCAA 25. I wish you could just go into the settings and disable injuries, because I think the whole league would benefit from that, and it would be must-watch TV every single week. Excuse me. As for the Packers, they clinch a playoff with a win this week. I think they clinch the playoffs even with some help from other teams as well, but I expect them to win this week. So, yeah, I think the Packers definitely clinch a playoff spot this week. I think their defensive line, and I should have put in here their offensive line as well. They're the real deal. They're super good, tremendously well put together, and super well coached. So I really like both sides of the line for this team. And I think the Packers' recipe for success: get a lead and hold the lead. When they're having to come back a little bit, I like this team a little bit less. But as soon as they get a lead and they can hold it, I think this Packers team is definitely top 5. I got the Packers in this one. I got the Packers 28, Saints 20. I do not expect the Saints to win this game at all. And with that, that is my Week 16 NFL predictions. What did you guys think? I hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know your predictions in the comment section down below. I will catch you guys in Week 17. Only 2 more weeks in the regular season. It's going to be a great time. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.